Stop number one in New Jersey. So been driving for about 3 hours. About a half tank of gas, just about. Have 100 miles left to go before my next, I guess, getting off an exit or something. Sorry, somebody's soda just popped in the window. But no, it's been a good ride. It's been pretty smooth. There's a shit ton of traffic between. Well, I feel like this is obvious, right? In New York, once you get over the bridge to Jersey, it's pretty traffic intense. But right now, it's not that bad. I was able to pick up a burger though. That's gonna be my breakfast, lunch, not dinner. I'm hoping to pick something up when I get to Washington. Still trying to get used to also having people look at you while you're talking to a camera. But otherwise, everything's going well, and I will catch you when I make it to DC. Hey, so I just made it to the hotel. Just checked in. Had to do quite a bit of circling around to get a parking spot. I have to keep in mind too that I have to extend my arm to get a nice, I guess, wide shot of myself in the middle. But this is the room. It's pretty nice room. It's pretty decent price as well. Nothing too expensive, nothing too, I guess, bougie, right? But it is definitely newer. It kind of hipstery as well, if I do say so myself. This is the thermostat, I'm assuming. Yeah, this is the bathroom. Not too huge, not too small. Perfect really for 1 or 2 people. This is my view directly where I came from outside. Parking, however, I'm going to wrap back around to that, was a pain in the ass. I would not recommend that to anybody. Do yourself a favor and either get here earlier or pay for parking somewhere else and get an Uber. But it's really not worth it. Otherwise, you know. It's pretty nice. It's a place to sleep, which is pretty much all I can ask for. And I'll get settled in. The place has quite a bit of things. Yoga on the 5th floor, apparently an open bar to guests, a sip and paint area as well. Fire? Sorry. Yeah, so it has a sip and paint area for guests that are staying with the hotel. Also free drinks on the 5th floor. I think they have a rooftop bar. And lunch and breakfast is provided, but at a fee. It's pretty good so far. Nothing too out of this world. Nothing to complain about really either. But yeah, I'll check back in tomorrow. Have a nice night. Alright, so what's about to happen? We're gonna go for the tour. I'm gonna take some pictures. Obviously, it's raining outside, as you can maybe see. So some nice good light. Yeah, gonna enjoy that tour. The food tour. You know, I'm a little bit of a foodie, so I'm gonna enjoy that. Just walking around U Street, which I've never heard of before. Got all the goods ready to go. Charging. The lens, some socks for the training, can't ever forget the extra socks, and that's about it. So I'll take some pictures, insert them here, anywhere else. And I was able to get a parking spot right in front of the hotel this time, so perfect A1 with the sauce. And I'll update you all afterwards. Buenos dias, good morning. Got my coffee, just checked out of the Selena Hotel. Gonna start my trip down to South Carolina. It was a good hotel. It wasn't like the cleanest or anything, but it was decent. It was a place to sleep. Had the most amazing experience yesterday with the Lutece restaurant. Great restaurant. I will definitely be posting pictures around here or just do another video about it later. But yeah, I'm ready for the next area. We're ready for some warmer weather without this rain.
I think it's like 50 degrees out right now. Let me confirm. Yeah, it's 49 degrees raining, and it should be 75, I believe, when I get down to South Carolina. So looking forward to that, and I'll keep you guys updated.
Hey guys, so I made it over to Florida, and I just want to recap a couple of things, including, you know, DC, South Carolina, and all that good stuff. So I did take some notes down. And starting off with DC, right? So I did that food tour. It was pretty freaking great. I ended up going to Bench Chili Bowl, Colada, and a few other places to eat. It also came along with a lot of the history of U Street, a lot of the diversity, the culture of that area, and all that good stuff. So to start off, Bench Chili Bowl, I had a chili hot dog, right, with some chili on top. It was vegetarian just because I don't eat pork. It was pretty good. No complaints there. It has a nice little snap to it, which is interesting for a hot dog. Kind of not crunchy, but it's just as you take a bite into it, it definitely, the sausage link or whatever it's called, definitely snaps back. It came with some chips. It was pretty good. I'll probably post a picture somewhere here. From there, we went over into I forget what it was. It was Ethiopian food. I went to, after Bench Chili Bowl, I ended up hitting some Ethiopian food with the same tour group. It was pretty good. We had a vegetarian meal. It was shared between the whole group. I'll also post a picture somewhere along, you know, the frame. That was pretty good. Different experience there. Also learning about the history and the, you know, the diverse culture within Washington as a whole. Right, there's a big Ethiopian presence. And then from there, moving into Colada being a Cuban restaurant actually within DC. Shout out to all my Hispanics out there. It's interesting to see, just because I didn't actually get to see a lot of Hispanic areas out there or restaurants in total. Right, I looked for a couple of Puerto Rican restaurants, didn't see that. So it was nice to see at least some type of Hispanic representation there. And of course, I had to have a patarito de guayaba. That was really good. It wasn't as warm as I wish it was, so it was definitely not as fresh, but it was definitely good. And after that, ended up hitting Jubilee, which was an ice cream place that was right next door to Colada, actually. I had there, I think it was the horchata ice cream, but according to the tour guide, you really can't go wrong with anything there. Pretty good overall. Would definitely go back to that Blue Fern Tours, I think it was what it's called. I tried booking through Airbnb. They didn't have any space, but they did it through their website, so that was pretty great. I think in total cost $100, but it was a pretty nice walking tour. You got to learn a lot about the history of DC, as well as, you know, obviously eat some food. From there, I ended up taking up a Uber. An Uber to the monuments. It was nice to see, you know, the Washington Monument, all the fountains, the representation of states, you know, leading up to the Lincoln Memorial, seeing the other memorials there for the wars. That's pretty interesting, pretty cool. I did take a bunch of pictures as well, so I'll most likely post that around us too. I feel like it looked like I was swatting away a fly there. But, and then from there, you know, headed back to the hotel to get ready for my dinner. I did make a reservation at Lutece, which was I think I made that like a month in advance because I was so excited to go. I was doing a chef's tasting with a wine pairing. I did it for a single person, obviously. They didn't let you do that online, so I had to call, but it was no big issue. You know, I just showed up. I was like, hey, you know, I made my reservation for one. And I want to say one of the best seats in the house. It was, you know, facing the window. You get to see outside as you're eating. It's pretty nice. Actually, somebody took a picture of Lutece while I was there, and you could just see me cheesing in the window. The food was fantastic. We had about 7 courses, I want to say. Started off with some croqueta with some caviar. First time I've ever had caviar, actually. From there, moving on to some beef tartare with some focaccia on the side and some olives. After that, we had a gnocchi, but instead of it being made with potatoes, correct, yeah, instead of it being made with potatoes, it was made with cheese. It basically melted in your mouth. It was amazing. From there, we hit the main course, which was really a seared duck with a fig sauce and a duck croqueta on the side as well. That was fantastic. It really was. I'll definitely be posting pictures as I go through each one of these. Each one came with a wine pairing as well. And that was fantastic. And then hitting into the sweets, right? Hitting the sweets. We had one of my favorites coming up soon. So we had a fig ice cream, I believe it was, with some type of olive, something with olive. I forget what it was called, but it was pretty great. I'll definitely post a picture as well. And then we hit my two last favorites. Oh my gosh! And in between this, I'm meeting the pastry chef, who's co-owner of Lutece. Shout out to Isabel, sorry. It was great. The food was great, but it was an almond flour cake with a thinly sliced apple topping. It was almost like an apple pie, right? But because of the apple slices being so thin, it was cooked perfectly. Sorry. It caramelized. It was good. It wasn't crunchy. It melted in your mouth. That's all I can say. It really melted in your mouth. It came with a side of vanilla ice cream, I believe. And that was fantastic. And from there I said, why not, right? Let's get a second of dessert. It wasn't included in the chef's tasting, but I did it anyway. So it was Concord grapes. I want to say a puree of that. It was cold, so I want to say maybe frozen, over a bed of black sesames that were toasted, and a more of a crust, I want to say, on the bottom that I believe was also black sesame. It basically tasted like a peanut butter jelly. It was fantastic. It tasted great, and I could not be happier with this meal. That being said, my meal came to an end, sadly, and I actually asked for a photo with the chef and the pastry chef, who happened to actually be husband and wife. They're married, and they own Lutece together, which is very cool. They trained in France, if I'm not mistaken, and Isabel trained in Mexico City at some of the top restaurants in the world, So it was a pretty great experience to go ahead and eat there. Ordered my Uber after that photo and just headed to the hotel. And slept. I was full, so I needed to sleep. After that, obviously, headed down to South Carolina, jumped in the car, made my way downtown, walking my way down. And sorry if I move like that, it's because there are bugs, a shit ton of bugs. And to kind of recap South Carolina, right? So I made it there around, I want to say 6:37-ish. It was about an 8-hour drive. It wasn't that bad. I listened to my podcast, not a podcast, sorry, audiobook on the way down. I listened to Dune. It's a big book, so I was listening to it instead of reading it. That's not going to happen. So obviously I'm listening to Dune. I got there around 6:30. Parking in all these Airbnbs tends to be a pain in the butt. Super tight street. I parked my truck there. I did not move my truck the whole time I was there because I was not going to continue coming in and out. But it was a pretty good parking spot. It was okay. Once I made it inside the apartment, you could probably see the video here, but going through the bathroom, the main room, the kitchen, which is really more like a kitchenette, had a microwave, a mini fridge, a coffee machine. It was nothing too big, nothing too splendid, but it was definitely great, good enough. At the end of the day, I was there ready to sleep, right, and explore. So all I really needed was that bed, because I wasn't going to be cooking anyways. So with that being said, I headed out as soon as I got there and ended up hitting a Asian restaurant. I forget the name, but I will definitely post it up. And had some spicy chicken and spicy noodles. Oh gosh, it was spicy, but in a good way. My mouth was on fire. I ended up taking some leftovers from there as well and heading back home around 8 o'clock. Ordered some Uber Eats, but for like water and stuff, right? Because I totally had forgotten to get water. That came through, and I kind of doused the flames with Perrier. But no, I headed to sleep afterwards and woke up, and everything was fairly well. From there, I headed out. I want to say not too early in the morning, but at least maybe midday. And I'm picking up a Southern biscuit, which I had never experienced before. Right, when you think biscuits, I'm thinking KFC or Popeyes, whatever it may be, right? But no, Southern biscuits are not like that at all. They're more dense. They're pretty good. I want to say they're still just as buttery and greasy. But I had that with an egg and cheese. It was pretty fantastic. Also, post a picture somewhere here. And then from there, got some work done, and then headed out again as soon as the clock struck 5. Did some shopping, ate some more food, had my first oyster. Really, throw it back. I chewed for experience, for taste. I asked if you should chew, and they said if you want the taste of the oyster, then go for it. I dropped one chew and then swallowed.
It was good though. It was good. Really wasn't that bad. And on top of that, right, I had a tuna tataki, I think it was called. So it was basically a seared tuna fried on the outside with some crispy rice, I want to say, types of spicy mayo, maybe some eel sauce. It was pretty good. Pretty decent. I did some more walking, then headed back to my my Airbnb, which was pretty decent, like I was saying, right? Then the next day was checkout. The next day, sadly, was checkout. I really enjoyed Charleston, and I was supposed to be doing a paddle boarding that afternoon, and wasn't able to. They ended up canceling just because of the high winds. But I'm really hoping that maybe I can go back and redo it. I enjoyed Charleston so much that I actually ended up looking at real estate while I was there, apartments available and all that good stuff. So maybe I will be back, maybe I won't, I don't know. And then, hopped in the car, another 8-hour ride down to Tampa, back down home. Yeah, a long ride. Not that I'm complaining, right, but it was a long ride. Ended up getting home around, I want to say, again, 6 o'clock. Not bad. Ended up going from there to Target, getting some groceries, and then actually heading back home and cooking myself some dinner. But now we're here. We made it. We did the total trip. I'm not sure how long that was. I want to say it was closer to, maybe, let me Google it rather than ask. Just guessing, I guess. A total of 1,100 miles over a few days, right? I want to say about 24 hours of driving, so not too bad, not too shabby. I think it was 6 hours the first time, about 7 or 8 for DC to South Carolina, and then 8 from South Carolina home. So definitely about, I want to say 22 hours max, maybe 22, 23. It was good. I would do it again. Obviously, I have to do it again to get back up north. But the truck handled fantastically. It was a smooth ride, no real big issues. I would recommend to anybody who's doing this, get either a good playlist going, get a good audiobook, get a few audiobooks, right? And just vibe. Just vibe and ride the wave, but in this case, right, the street. And do it again. But overall, it was a great experience, and it's not over yet. I'm hoping to do a couple of things while I'm here down in Tampa. I want to go see if I can go take a boat trip or something like that. Watch a game, maybe even go to a concert, who knows. But that was my recap, and I'll talk to y'all soon.